You're listening to In Response, a legacy podcast. A show where three handsome guys talk about their favorite Magic the Gathering format, Legacy. This show is brought to you by createness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/response_legacy. And now, lean back and enjoy.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 62, The Painting of Prague of
In Response,
A legacy podcast.
I'm Philip Klein
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Blank.
and we're talking about
Legacy, most of the time. So, guys, I have big news for me. And for you.
big news for you. wait, what? I mean, I'm totally out of the loop. I haven't played since 6 weeks or so. Tell me, what has happened? I'm totally... I don't have any clue, yo.
I lost the biggest match of my life.
The biggest or the...
You played in Friday Night Magic?
I played Friday Night Magic and lost the finals. No, I actually played in Prague at the Eternal Weekend and basically lost a match that was worth around 2k.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. Because, apparently a few of the guys did it when you are 7-1 and get to 8-1 and you play for the winning in for the top 8. Some of them basically split. They said, yeah, we will sell the card that we get and each of us gets half the money. And those cards apparently sell for 4 or 5k. So I basically lost the match worth around 2k.
Was it one of those Dragon Rich channels?
It was one of those Dragon Rich channels.
Damn.
Okay, they really are... That,
I
worth that much?
I also heard that around 2 or 3, 4k something around.
Oh, wow.
There's only 16 currently.
25, 24 in the near future, but currently only 16 running around. And
Okay, wow.
yeah, the cards are
So,
quite expensive.
That I understood correctly. You were 8-1? No.
I was 7-1.
7-1. But you could have split or you could have drawn.
When I'm 8-1, I could have drawn with the other guy 8-1. So basically the match...
So you needed to win the 7-1 match that you played?
Exactly.
What opponent, what deck did you face?
I faced a really unknown player. He's known as the name Julian Jakobowicz. He won 2 Eternal Weekend to his date and top 8'd another one. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a really great player.
Actually,
Just a random Jimmy.
just a random Jamie, yeah.
No. Jokes aside, congratulations, Peter. I think this is probably your best year in Magic so far. Am I right?
It is his first year. No, this was just a joke.
I mean, on the big stage, it's for sure my best year.
16 in Bologna, and now
A near top 16.
Amazing.
almost.
top
it was
16.
place 52.
It was placed 52. My losses were to rank 1, the winner, Julian. Lost against rank 15, another 8-2 player in the last round, and Rodrigo Tugores, which finished right at 53rd.
So basically, all great and big names in the community. Am I right? So
Yeah,
You can't be,
no,
I
you
won't
can lose to Rodrigo Tugores.
yeah, and you can't complain about this, I would say. This is a
No,
pretty good
it's-
result.
it's like after round 9, I said, yeah, good luck. I lost against the Eternal Weekend winner, now twice Eternal Weekend winner, and a GP winner, so, well.
But I would say, just for our listeners, maybe we had it just into your top matches at the moment, but just give us a little bit of an explanation. How did you experience the event as a whole? Because it was Eternal Weekend and it was in Prague.
It was actually really great. The venue was big enough to support all the players. There were a lot of basically sellers of cards out there. We had Kai Savatari here, selling his tokens and stuff like that, which I actually needed because I played a new card for the tournament, so I could cry into my opponent's face, 4th Erlingas. And
yeah, this card is basically everywhere. I mean, I don't follow Magic Twitter in the last some weeks that much, but even I have seen that everybody and their mother is playing 4th Erlingas right now.
It's pretty good, pretty common.
It's really, really sick. It's one of the best things that you kind of can do as a control player, because it's the big finisher that also draws you accumulative cards in the near future. It's really strong out of like initiative, because on the one hand it pitches to Chromebox and produces white and red, but on the other hand it's a really, really strong thing that you can do on turn 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an amazing top deck. On Paint it's the same. You can play it on turn 2, turn 3, or in the late game for like 5, 6 tokens. Really, really strong card.
It has been one of the latest adaptations for the deck, I would say. Well, the newest inclusion, basically.
It was the newest inclusion for Painter. There were some thoughts running around like 2 weeks prior, I think, starting out. And Callum basically posted his list on Friday or Thursday. And I basically chatted with him a little bit about his thoughts. Then I told him what I think, and then I adapted it, and was once again a wise choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I would find interesting here is it's more of a hypothetical scenario. But think of it, what would have happened if you played 4th Erlingas back in Bologna? I mean, what were the differences between your deck now and your deck then? Would it have been easy to just put in the 4th Erlingas back then?
I have to think about the metagame and stuff like that, but I would be a little bit better prepared against control and combo. All in all, I think the change is like that it's a little bit... It's on the one hand a little bit harder to cast. You lose some utility, but you gain a stronger card on a generic phase of the game, I would say. Because like...
What did you have before instead of that?
I played a Ethos 1 Canonist and a Brea's Apprentice. Okay. Both of those cards fill like some slots in regards with Goblin Engineer, because Ethos 1 Canonist, for example, really strong versus Storm combo versus Control, because it slows down the game. And Brea's Apprentice, on the other hand, is like a card I loved to play against like Scam and Bowmasters, because it's something that draws you cards or allows you to draw cards, even though you don't draw cards because you can't play from the top of your deck. Produces some additional bodies. I think now it's a little bit better with 4th Erlingas, because like the Bowmasters are reduced in numbers. Back in Bologna, I think there were a much higher percentage of Bowmaster in play. I think there was like...
There was a lot of Scam. I can remember it was pretty much Scam was running around everywhere. And so it's just, I think, that's why I said it's a little bit of a hypothetical question, but I find it interesting to have this mind game here. Maybe you would have gone even farther if you would have incorporated 4th Erlingas already.
Could be.
For example, versus like 8 key, the matchup I lost on stream for the top 8, there it would have been really great to have the 4th Erlingas, because it's something that you can deploy on turn 1, 2 to draw you additional cards and produces a threat on the other hand. And for example, like Ethos on Canonist does nothing against the artifact combo deck. But I think that the choice back in the day was correct, and I think the choice here was also correct.
Yeah, for sure. Just one more question. Have you thought already about 4th Erlingas back then?
There were some thinking about it, because it was a strong card. But I believed I should be the artifact combo deck or the artifact deck. And nowadays, if you look at the Painter deck lists, it's
it's wild.
It's wild. I'm playing so little artifacts nowadays. It's insane.
Yeah, artifact hate is still rather potent threat from your opponents, I would say. So you need to be able to
Recover.
you recover, and you need to be well, Meltdown is a card still, and
The thing is, like, Melton is okay.
yeah.
It's not. It's at best okay versus Painter. And
Yeah, because you
that's
build your deck in
Yeah.
with Melton in the mind. Yeah.
because you're playing like the 4 fast mana in like the 3 petal, the 1 opal, then you play the 2 grindstone, the Nihil Spellbomb in the main, or the Solgan Lantern for some folks. Then I'm playing 1 Great Furnace, the 4 Painter. I think that's all my artifacts in the main deck.
Yeah, that's not a lot actually. Yeah.
The Phyrexian Dragon Engine and the Chaos Defiler, but yeah, those are also the 2 additional one-offs that I have in the deck to search out with the Goblin Engineer.
But like for the whole event itself, it was pretty packed, right? It was it 713 players in the main event?
750 or something?
No, it was 720 was the
read?
cap, and 713 were the players.
Oh wow, yeah.
But it was amazing. I mean, this is a pretty big event for Central Europe.
Legacy is dead, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We see it. We
it's-
see it in probably every big tournament all the time.
all the time, yeah.
and there were like 680, I think, for Eternal Weekend Asia too.
Yeah.
So, and I think like 800 already pre-registered for Eternal Weekend America. So,
Yeah, I followed the stream a little bit, to be honest, because Anurag did make an amazing job throughout the whole weekend, together with the casters that were commentating the whole time, all matches, and Anurag was doing like the caster work basically in the background.
Okay.
He was completely blown out. I think we saw it on Twitter, a couple of them, when he was just about to faint, basically. He's doing the great job for the community and to bring coverage to all players. And this was really, really amazing. So I definitely enjoyed that I could be able to watch a little bit of what's going on in the Eternal Weekend. And yeah, it was really nicely done from that perspective, for sure. And we could definitely learn from that also, I would say.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
For our
he's
stream.
probably one of the best commentators out there.
Yeah.
So
Well, he did no comment. He did only do the technical
the
stuff.
producing.
okay, like
He was a producer.
Inigo did for
Exactly. He was only
Okay.
behind the scenes, doing all this the casting work, but not talking. I mean, just
But yeah,
production.
that's also a lot of work.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
really.
You need somebody like that, to be able to.
It's insane what
Yeah.
he has with him to do all the stuff, because the production quality was great.
Yeah.
It
And
was his
yeah.
equipment, am I right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it okay?
I'm pretty sure it was his equipment. So huge shout out here to Anurag Das. You're truly a jewel of the
Yes,
community.
absolutely.
Subscribe to his Patreon.
That's what I wanted to say right now. I mean, we seldom make advertising for other people than us, but here we're gonna do it. So subscribe to
In the
Anurag.
spot.
Yeah, also subscribe to Anurag's Patreon. He really deserves it. And
We want to shout out our patrons, because it's a nice time to shout out Matt Duncan, Gino, and
Moritz, thank you very much for supporting our little cast. And maybe if you want to join these elite ranks of patron supporters, you can always support in response a Legacy podcast.
so
Peter, we know that this was a really hard day for you in Prague. Tell us about your adventures then. I mean, the playing is one thing, but yeah, Prague is a city that, yeah, it's like Las Vegas for Europe. Am I right?
Yeah, it is pretty good to get going and have some fun. That's for sure.
it was so chill.
This is not what I expected.
No, not really. I mean, my experiences with Prague are a little bit different.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we arrived there at 8 o'clock in Prague at Friday evening. There were actually only a little bit of a delay of 4 minutes, not like the 3.5 hours that I had when I traveled up to Berlin. So only the Austrian railways. And so everything went great. We arrived in Prague. We ate some local food. So we got to Burger King and
Really?
and ate some stuff. I completely didn't get the stuff into my stomach, so it was like a great evening. Then I went to sleep. Couldn't sleep the whole night. Or like I woke up like 4 or 5 times, so the rest was really great. Then I had to stand up like 6:30 or something like that in the
Why?
morning because of like traveling from the Airbnb to the location with the public transport system, which worked perfectly. So no
Okay.
problem with that. I arrived there like 7:30 in the morning because the tournament started at 9. I had to get some cars for me. So all the preparation was like at best okay. But I prepared at home. I got myself some Apple snacks that I had that I'm currently using for a tournament. Got myself some water. It's like
the purees or
yeah, it's like apple puree,
Yeah, like a smoothie.
like an apple smoothie.
yeah. You call them lovingly quetchies, am I right?
Yeah. That's how you call them in Austria.
Yeah,
Quetchies.
because quetches means
It's like squeezies.
yeah, it's squeezies.
Yeah.
Maybe they're called
I don't
in
know if it's a
America
name
too.
for other countries, but this would be the direct translation for
Yeah.
that, and I don't know.
Those are great. They give you power for the rounds, but I only had a limited amount with me.
Is there something that you learned for in that regard that you would do differently for the next time for like this big of a tournament that is probably 9-10 rounds?
I maybe switch my backpack because I'm currently having how do I say this? It's like a
Satchel.
bag on that you
It's like a briefcase.
like a briefcase
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I have my deck box in there with some amount of water and some quetches and
Exactly.
some squeezies.
Yes.
And this works perfectly fine, but I was limited to 1 liter of water, which is way too little.
Yeah.
that's not
So we couldn't buy some water in the location in those bottles because I was expecting that I could buy some there. But the souvenir store where you could buy those was closed between 10:30 up to 19 o'clock.
What the
It's
hell?
like
The whole day, basically.
it was basically the whole
Why?
day.
But they were open before 9:30.
It was like 10:30
Before 10:30, they were
to
open.
19 o'clock. It was like closed, and you could only buy bottled water in
That's ridiculous.
in glass bottles.
And you weren't allowed to bring them in. Am I right?
You would be, but it's like
Okay.
I don't want to take glass bottles with me. I was able to get a bigger bottle of water later on, but yeah, that's something that was a little bit shitty for me because I wanted to buy some, and it was like at 11 o'clock I was at the store, and then it was already
But
closed.
there was no like a buffet or some restaurant or something around?
There was one buffet there, but the line was like half an hour or
so.
at least 15 to 20 minutes between rounds when it was later on.
Yeah.
So it was like really hard to get there. I had one round where it was like when we had 5 to 10 minutes over the clock, I just bought a coupon to get something to eat after the next round.
Okay.
To get myself something to eat. Then the kind of sausage that I bought was not available, so I only got to wieners, I think it's called. And I put them just I cut open like it was like a hot dog bun. I just cut it open, put some mustard into it, put the two sausages in, and just ate it like it was like a cheap ass hot dog, and it was delicious as fuck.
I did expect it. I did expect this right now.
But yeah,
This is the kind of food that Peter is craving for.
but yeah, all in all, it was like I maybe use a backpack for the next bigger tournaments to put in my more supply of water. Maybe not only the squeezies, but some other food like kind of in Austria it's called Hartwurst. It's just a normal kind of sausage that you can
Salami style.
Salami style. Maybe you can relate with maybe some beef jerky or something like
Something
that.
similar.
Because then you get some other food other than the sugarish stuff that the
You need
squeezes
some
are.
proteins also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also in Bologna, I had the problem that I had to get something to eat, but in my later rounds, I had like a few mid-rangey games where it was like right to the clock. So I had the possibility to get a friend of mine to get me some food. But if this is a problem for me for most of the tournaments in the later stages, I should prepare something for me because like otherwise it's kind of hard. Maybe get the Coke besides the water too, to get some caffeine in there, maybe some coffee snack or something like that. But yeah, this is something that I'm thinking about, which is like how much you can prepare outside of playing Magic or preparing for Magic, how you can do stuff in the tournament. It's like,
Yeah, and I think to a big extent, it's people have different needs. Also, it's you just have to find out what works for you, I would say. But of course, I would say drinking is something that should be important for everybody.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I was asking myself. There were a lot of our guys there at the venue. Why didn't you called one of them to bring you some water or something?
I've got one of them to bring me some water, but they also had no bottles and stuff like that. And
okay, and couldn't they get you something to eat or at least? Not everyone was competing for the top spaces.
I haven't seen them around at the location, and I feel comfortable up until the point I wasn't. Which was like right before round 9.
So you
Damn them.
You totally missed the point where it all went downhill.
Basically,
okay.
Personally, I would say I'm also the guy that is a little bit needs his mental to be high to perform. If I'm thinking good and if I'm thinking what the fuck is now going on, it turns down when I get like not angry, but I'm getting a little bit frustrated and stuff like that. And this was like round 9 for me. In round 9, we had like 27 minutes or something like that over the clock, extra time between rounds because of like extra chance and stuff like that. Then round gets shut out, so you're waiting forever. Drank my last water, throw the bottle away, and got to my place.
Okay, yeah.
Sat down with Julian. We basically took out our decks, we shuffled. I was just about to roll the die for order even to decide who goes first. Then the judges put your deck in your deck box. We have a deck check now.
Okay, yeah.
And now you are in the mind of, we are now starting the game. I have to think, I have to play accordingly. And then you have to get back into a joking mood to talk to your opponent. And Julian was a really nice guy. We talked about his off year before college and stuff like that. Was really nice with him. But I couldn't refocus back into the game after the deck check.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think the match before was like 35 minutes. So I had like nearly 50 minutes downtime. Then you get to your place, you are in the mode for competing, then you get thrown back out there, and then you have to start competing again. And I think this one just broke me.
It's difficult, yeah.
I totally can see this. I understand you here because I, for myself, I'm the same. Yeah, if I am if I don't get into the competing mode or in the tournament mode, then I play always like pure shit and just.
Okay, so you cannot just, I don't know, ignore it for a couple of minutes, or I don't know, and then
It was like
It depends. For a couple of minutes, it's no problem. I can joke with my opponent, and everything's great. But I totally get what Peter is saying. If then you have a deck check and you're already mentally drained in round 9, actually, it's kind of hard to get back into this mindset, and then that's the breaking point, because the person or the player who is more used to these kind of situations,
of course,
the grinder has the advantage here, and getting into the right mindset to do the right decisions at the right time in such a high stakes environment is like the key here for success.
I guess the what would be important here is to not forget why you are here and why you're sitting at the table.
I think the problem was like I had no supply of anything to eat. If I can snack in between, I think I get something from my blood sugar and stuff like that.
So you mean like it was mentally
it was mentally and physically.
Well, physically, let's say, yeah.
It was on both sides for me.
Okay.
Because like, and the one thing is like he had a really good draw in game 1, 2. There I got frustrated again. I'm playing the whole day. I'm not playing against blue. Then I'm playing against the blue deck. Okay. And then I boarded like shit, and I really deserved to lose the match. But the thing is like, I think I should have, now on the blind it was I keep the thing I had against him in the first round. But for game 2, I was like, I couldn't get something to drink here.
Yeah.
I couldn't snack something in between, because like the squeezes you get out, you squeeze them into your mouth and then it's away. So it's nothing like a procedure for like 2 minutes where you have to eat something. It's like really 20 seconds and it's gone. And I couldn't have something to get me back into comfort. Then I boarded like shit. Then I played at best okay. And I really deserved to lose the round.
I guess it is also a combination that this match was your important match also. I guess you had this pressure also in the back end that you kind of needed to win to get into this top 8 contention.
On the one hand, I was like, I'm 7-1 and I'm in prizes. Yeah. Everything is good. Everything else is a bonus.
Maybe you kind of settled already, you know? Because you said maybe to yourself, I'm already in prizes. It's fine for me. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, this was kind of my mind.
That's also kind of dangerous.
This is dangerous, yeah. If you want to be a spike, let's say.
But on the other hand, I really didn't want to come the pressure really hard to me, because if you're thinking like, there are 5,000 on the point, there are 5,000. It's like it's also problematic. So I really wanted to shift it to the other focus.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. It's hard, but
focus on magic. That's the point.
Yeah,
just about your deck, about how you want to play, about your decisions that you make. Just like anybody, you need to come back to this zone and forget about prizes, forget about why you're here, forget about your opponent that you talk to very nicely a couple of minutes. Just focus on your hand and your magic cards, and then make the best decisions that you can do.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you have no shades against anyone competing and is 7-1 and playing there. If you knew you're playing against one of the best players that we have in the format, it's also kind of intimidating.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the next step.
It's like if you have an end boss of a video game where it's like everything is now on stakes.
Yeah, for sure.
These mental.
You need to be really get comfortable in being in such situations to and not let them drain you.
And that was actually something that I had in round 5 too. Where I played against Rodrigo Tugores, where I also had the kind of respect for him. Then I did some stupid mistake and basically threw away the second game, where I could have ended in a game 3 where I could have done something, because I think I'm ahead. Just because I was intimidated by the player.
Yeah, and then you think about this, and this creeps into your mindset, and you should not be thinking about it.
And then you want to take everything in account, and then you're okay, even though there could something that they can have, and then I turbo piled into like a thing. I want to force out his Pachuca Bog, just so that he doesn't have it for the next opportunity. If he has, for example, something, then I let him get a Savannah, because I only thought with the night activation he can get the Pachuca Bog. I was like super tunnel vision. Then I had an open white man, and then it was fearful enough to combo, and he didn't even have the Swords of Plowshares, just because he's a good player. He made this decision. And so this is like the thing.
He bluffed the swords, you mean? Or?
He basically bluffed the swords. But if I'm not getting intimidating, getting turbo minded into like one thinking, I'm just winning here.
This is actually a pretty nice situation, a nice thing, because when you have this exact situation, when you play against, for example, this depth stack that he was playing, and if Rodrigo has an open white mana, you respect it. You expect some force, some swords, and probably you typically don't go for a combo. In your case, for example, paint and combo. But the same situation against a different player, and especially if players give you some kind of hints and signal, oh, I don't have anything, and do what you want or whatever, you just go for the combo and win.
Yeah, which was actually something I did, I think, a few rounds prior, where he said, do you have it? And I just played it and comboed him, even though I would have played it in another way to prevent him to have the removal spell. Because like if my opponent says, do you have it?
Don't get tricked by this. It could also be
it could have
a nice metal trick, you know?
But yeah, he didn't have it because like, did you draw the land? You kind of hear it in the voice a little bit.
This could also be some kind of mental, if your opponent is well suited to do so, he can also trick you into doing something stupid. But of course, those things matter. The same situations against different players, you make different decisions. This is
that's true.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, tournament was really mentally draining. So
how was the overall metagame, you would say? Or how was the...
I mean, the metagame for me was really non-blue. I played 3 times versus Maverick or Green-White Depths, 3 times versus land, so my place at Magus of the Moon was perfect in the board. I've lost only once to Green-White Depths in the hand of Rodrigo Tugorsh, just because he played Legolas. He did some sweet things with it. He started off. Turn 1 Green Sun Sinif for a Dryad Arbor. Pass the turn, land, Goblin Welder. I make a green. Legolas, I make another green. Kill your Welder, and I said, fuck! Then he played a Knight of the Reliquary, and he basically won game 1.
Well, that's actually great.
Do you know how? Do you want to know how he won game 2? After that, I did the big misplay. Yeah, he had 2 knights out, and he activated. He activated both knights to search out some lands. He played 2 Legolas on his both knights. He attacked with both, shoot my 2 blockers down, and basically won the game on X-axis.
Pump both knights to +2/+2, both of them,
and then Legolas
untap with Legolas Quick. Yeah. Okay.
You untap and you get to shoot something when you attack, or
whenever it gets tapped.
Whenever it gets tapped. Okay.
That's the reason he just made a mana with the Dryad Arbor and he shot the Goblin Welder. It's so sick.
Nice play, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I totally missed it. I thought about Legolas Quick Reflectors only in combat. Or in combat.
No. Yeah. With depths, it's also a nice tool.
Yeah,
for sure.
I thought about only with Marit Lodge, but it's also great with Knight. Oh, okay.
With knights and Dryad Arbor sometimes. It's good. Yeah.
It's a shame it's green. I can't play it. Anti-green mage.
We briefly had a look before I start off the episode to the overall meta game. I would say this Prague, I think Eternal Weekend Prague, this was Rack was kind of popular or well performing, I would say, right? We have this because we have 2 or 3 Rack decks in the top 8.
For Rack is.
I mean, this is the percentage sheet that we should have a look at. The one you have, this one.
Yeah, this one.
This one.
The best performing decks actually for GP Eternal Weekend Prague
For GP Prague.
were Boros Initiative.
This is Asia, I think, right?
No,
is not
this
Prague.
is Europe.
This is okay. Okay, I see.
So we had so the biggest amount of decks were from
Do we have some overall win percentage data here? There should be one.
only on the left side.
Okay.
Rackdelver was really underplayed there. There
Yeah,
was
but
7 or 8 players with Rackdelver.
But I think it was above. Was it above 55% win rate or something like this? One of the better win rates compared to the. I think it had a different one actually.
I think there were a lot of players that actually dropped out early.
Initiative was the best. Yeah.
Timo Delva had like 57.9.
58%. Yeah, it's the best win rate for sure.
Wow, that's really strong.
One of the better ones, let's say.
I mean,
Also Cascade.
Team Cascade
Exactly,
also
yeah. That's
really strong.
Rack was really strong actually. Followed by Initiative, that's for sure.
Initiative was also really consistent. Delva was also Painter was also great.
What I think we did really nicely see in this tournament is that a deck specialist can really do well. This is not the case for now, like the online meta game.
Yeah.
And the deck that I'm talking is of course Doomsday.
Yeah.
We have Mark Tobias, and I think there's also Sebastian Ziller was one
Sebastian
of the.
Ziller from
Those guys play the deck really well and very, very often, and you really see this in this kind of tournaments. They bashed everything, really. They were really tight in place, and we saw them a couple of times on camera also.
Yeah, Mark Tobias actually forgot to draw his last 2 rounds in Eternal Weekend Asia, because at both rounds he could have drawn into the top 8, but he, for some reason, played both of them, lost both of them, and went for 10th place at Eternal Weekend Asia. It would have been nearly consecutive top 8s for Eternal Weekends in Legacy.
And this list that especially Mark played is like completely... It's insane.
It's his list. I think this describes it.
In my
best.
opinion,
Okay, just for clarification here.
Greedy. In my
Tell
opinion,
me the differences between. I don't know.
well,
about
you know the turbo list with like personal tutors, like standard. That usually Kai, for example, plays. You have this in mind.
Yeah.
This is a white splash in addition, and a green splash in addition.
Okay.
For 3 Veil of Summer, 2 the fairies, and 3 the One Ring.
The One Ring.
Yes.
And 3
In
Lorien
Doomsday.
revealed.
And 3 Royal Revealed.
Oh yeah.
It is completely
Screams
greedy. But it worked out pretty nicely, I would say. Oh, it's even 3 Teferis, so it's a triple free off.
And in the sideboard we have like the 4th Veil of Summer.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I
2
get
Shell
the-
Dread, because like it's good, 2 swords, it's insane.
No, it's really insane. And curious about the One Ring, but it makes sense.
It's really good with Doomsday, because if you resolve the Doomsday after the One Ring, you can draw into your pile and stuff like that.
It works nicely with
yeah.
Dark Ritual also, because just jam out a ring sometimes and then draw a bunch of cards and win and sculpt your hand. This also
because
works.
like Doomsday a lot of times feels like if you're playing Dark Ritual only for the Doomsday, like an A plus B combo deck.
Yep.
Because like the secondary Dark Rit does not do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you have like additional copies of cards that you want to Dark Ritual out, it's like really strong, especially in a cantrip deck like with Ponder Brainstorm.
It is a strong deck, but you really need to be good with the deck. It's still so hard to play. You need to have experience and you need to know what you're doing, and then But this is really a nice showing because you don't typically see this deck all that much it's not a big metagame share. But if you know the deck well, you can just...
Yeah, it's not popular anymore. I think because of
Yeah,
Bowmaster or...
and it's also such a hard deck to play. That's also one of the things. If it would be easy to play, it would be for sure played.
And one
much
of the
more.
biggest things in paper is like, you don't get 40 minutes to dissolve your Doomsday pile.
Yeah.
You get like a minute. And after the minute, you should call the judge. If you are the opponent, slow play.
Yeah, and you have to know your piles. I mean, as far as I know, there is one pile for about 80% of matches or scenarios, yeah, and then it gets tricky.
And I think the situation that you end up with because your opponent or you need to play around a couple of things is that you often end up in this 20%, like in a realistic sense.
Yeah.
Because you need to just, I mean, you can decide to not play around certain things, but if you're playing against blue, you kind of have to play against the forces, and you need to work with caverns or
surgical.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, a surgical. It's also a simple thing like this. This messes your plan up, and then this is difficult.
Yeah. But one thing that we can say about Prague, and to some extent about Eternal Weekend Asia, the metagame is so fucking diverse.
Absolutely.
It's insane. Mm-hmm. If you look at the top tables, we didn't count it, but I would say from the top 50 players, this is like a 7-1 plus and better. And I can say for sure that we have like above 20 different decks. For maybe even 25 different decks.
Yeah.
I would have guessed about 10 to 15.
No.
Above 20 it seems a little bit like saturated.
We have
but
8 different decks in the top 8 in Prague.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
maybe you're right.
I think this is the time for specialists.
We have in 10 different.
So you're saying I should put more reps in?
Yeah, I think this is the perfect time for specialists to shine, and show your advantage that you know your deck really well, and that you need to have a lot of experience against a lot of different decks. If you have this under your belt, you have a lot of experience when you face a random deck, and which is the case right now because you have so many different ones. And if you just know what you are doing, I think this is the time that you could be shining.
Yeah, for some reason I can put a story in here from Prague. I played against Mono Black Midrange. My opponent opposition agent me. He took away my grindstone. He played the grindstone a turn or two later into my painter that I had on the board with a Weld and Annihil Spellbomb. He had 4 mana open. He played the grindstone. He activated the grindstone. I cracked my Annihil Spellbomb on him. I welded my Annihil Spellbomb back, put the back into play, and put the painter into the grave and didn't lose the game. A few turns later, he played Engineered Explosives X0 to get rid of my tokens. Cracked the Engineered Explosives.
Oh,
I welded his grindstone because he took control of it and had it in play. Welded it against his Engineered Explosives. So I got my grindstone back into my graveyard. He got back his Engineered Explosives, which just blew up because the trigger was still on the stack. So if you know your cards, you can do some stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Just small really nice interaction right here. That feels like DMT back then.
And the opponent is not thinking really about this, and you know what your deck is doing, and this kind of things is really what you can use as a...
That's the reason I was not worried that he got a grindstone.
Yeah.
Wow, really nice.
Well, this in that sense really a nice card. Yeah. But you mentioned Eternal Weekend Asia also.
Yeah.
How did this compare against Prague? It was just a week after that, I would say.
We had a new breakout deck. Basically, the best performing deck there was 5-color control.
Okay.
With like a 60% win percentage.
Okay.
Followed by Boris Initiative with 57 again, and Mono Red Stompy with 55.
This 5-color deck is a Yorion pile, right?
Yeah.
Most likely.
All of the control decks, basically. There should be Yorion and normal piles in there.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them are playable.
Both of them are in there.
But this Yorion version is definitely...
the default version. Probably.
It depends on if you ask 3 different popular control players, you will get 3 different answers. I would say.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I would say it is
For example, the winner was
50-50
on
kind of.
5-color control
with Joran, right?
without urine.
Without.
Without. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because we had like in this tournament there was 3 different 5-color control players.
I'm always interested in non-urine lists.
Yeah, me too. I just hate
there were
Joran.
2 non-urine lists and 1 urine list in the top 8.
Okay.
So both is viable. In the mirror, Joran is for sure better.
And one
Yeah.
interesting thing is like one of the control players only played red for 1/4 Elingas and 1 Meltdown. He didn't even play Pyroblast. That should show you the kind of a metagame we have here. Because like blue spells, even though they are cantrips, they don't do anything. Everything that is important and impacts the board is non-blue nowadays.
Yeah, this used to be not so the case, of course, if all the payoffs were also blue-based
Yeah.
most of the time. But
For example, Chase and stuff like that.
you
yeah.
still have Uro, but Pyroblast, come on, is not really great against an Uro.
It's
And
okay.
It's okay, yeah.
versus the backside. Yeah.
Yeah, versus the backside. It's okay versus the backside. It's not good against the
Yeah,
frontside. Yeah.
but clearly Bowmasters is a thing, and we have Beanstalk and Binding and all these kind of things. Non-blue. It is just non-blue, and it's multicolor at this point.
It's interesting. A year ago, people were contemplating 5 Pyroblast effect in the board
Yeah.
because of Delver
Yeah.
with Express Filtration Merc type.
Yeah.
And now we're almost 1, 2, sometimes even 0 blast effects. It's really interesting. The metagame shifts are.
It could be that Hydroblast is actually secretly better than Pyroblast.
I really like the Hydroblast.
I am for sure thinking that because getting to kill a Minskin Boo always feels so great.
Dragon Rage Channeler.
Even just a channeler.
Or the
is-
4th Elingas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's something
and it
that
pitches to force.
and it pitches.
But one thing that we kind of have to say here,
Yeah.
we have Castlevania Delver in the top 8.
What is Castlevania? Then?
It's called.
It's called Castlevania Delver because it's called Burg Delver.
Okay.
And Burg is German for castle.
Yeah, let me stop you right there. Back in the day when Death Rat Shaman was legal, I'm now a boomer, yeah? We called Burg Delver Castle of Secrets. Not Castlevania, Castle of Secrets. I have to get this out of my bloodstream right now. I'm a boomer, I know.
I never heard of that. It's nice.
You never heard of 4-color Delver?
Yeah, of course, but never heard about this Burg and then Castle name. This I never heard.
Okay.
Of course, no 4-color Delver. I know the Death Red Shaman era. This
And
was
the
was
Ren and
this-
6 era.
Castle of Secrets.
was Venom 6 with black?
Only for Manguchi.
Yeah, okay, because I would say not really.
But yeah, we have 4-color Delver in there, we have Boros Initiative, and we have the standout performance for the card Leyline of Anticipation. We have Oops Old Spells in the top 8. 10-0, undefeated.
Yeah,
Of the
nobody
Sanctity,
expects a Leyline in the main deck. A Sanctity even? I mean, it's come on.
This is so great. I mean, the only thing I don't like is that it plays 60 cards because normally Oops is 61.
This is just the ultimate PM. Come on.
No, the thing is, they play 61 online for their deck list because they could not find a cut and they really wanted to have like the one card in the main deck,
The Memories Journey.
a Memories Journey to have an out for a lot of various cards.
What is the best card in the deck?
Normally it's Memories Journey. In this special iteration,
They don't play Memories Journey.
they don't play Memories Journey, but they play 6 Leylines. Normal 4 Leyline of Sanctity and 2 Leyline of Anticipation. It's insane. This list is so wild, actually. I can't wrap my head around it. I think that you normally don't see a 2 once upon a time, a second red return, and the 6 Leylines. But I can totally see this. I mean, I can see the appeal going off Leyline turn 0. Your opponent is just like, what the hell? What am I playing against? This is just some random bullshit. And then then you go, don't know, planes, bile, and you go, oh, I know, okay, bam, kill you, you're dead.
The thing is, like, the Leyland of Anticipation is even a really, really bad imprint to the Chromox.
It is bad, yeah, for sure.
You don't need the blue mana. It's only
both
in
of them,
there
right?
for
They
the show
don't
off.
play Chromox.
They do.
They do. The player plays a Chromox.
Ah,
Of
okay.
course, yeah.
I haven't seen.
You need to Chromox.
Chromox.
Yeah, you need them.
Normally you play
Battles also.
two Chromox.
2 to
Okay.
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, this is, I guess, some really. Is it 4 Pact of Negation also all the time?
Yeah.
4 Pact of Negation. Normally 4 Pact of Negation. 4 Summoner's Pact.
Okay.
So
yeah.
this list is pretty wild. I gotta admit.
It's the wild, wild west, even though it was played in the east.
In the east. But beautiful, beautiful list. I'm so contemplating.
Yeah, I
to
think
play this.
overall it is really exciting that this Eternal Weekend is happening again, right? This was the case just before the pandemic times that we had something like this.
I think it was. I think there was one on 2019 in
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah. And then we had everything online. Eternal
Yeah.
Weekend was always online the last some years.
I hope this will be. Is it actually every year? I don't know.
There will be one every year.
Okay,
And
this
now
will be in
with
paper.
the top 8 getting like the cards, it's a really good payout even, because if you think about like it's 4 to 5k for the cards, they get 8 of those that are at a minimum 30k, then 20k for the painting, it's 50k for the top 8, and I think there was like generously said like 25,000 payout for all the other prizes. So we had like 75k paid out for 700 players that played at the maximum 75. So we had like an EV from 1.5. So
Yeah.
it's a plus EV tournament. So it's
Wow,
It's
that's
nice,
strong,
yeah.
but one thing that I wanted to mention for Eternal Week in Prague, and I want you to be in Stasis for this year, because on the second day, I played my first big pre-modern event.
Mm-hmm.
And as a first round, and before the tournament even started, I got to Mark Poole.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 18 of my basic islands signed by Mark Poole.
Oh, nice.
Got myself a metal card from RK Post, from the City's Blessing, the token, if you know it from...
Yeah.
Because I'm playing Forsaken City as a combo piece in Stasis, to remember the trigger to put the metal card on top of my
that's
deck.
nice.
So I pimped my deck out before I even played my first game with it. Then I had like a really, really nice time there. It was actually it was amazing. It was so lovely to play against various people. It was great.
How many players were participating in the event?
I think 137 players were playing pre-modern.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Was one of the bigger tournaments for the format, and I had so many cool games. I played versus balancing things, which is like a thing that wants to rough the whole board away and then puts like flashback creatures from the graveyard to put in tokens and stuff like that. One against it. Then Oath Poncer, which is like the Terrageddon deck with plays Armageddon and the Lorgoth, I don't know how it's called, the Terror War.
Terror War, yeah.
Then Angry Hermit and stuff like that. It's so amazing to see all those old cards, and I was there to stop my opponents from having fun.
Was it? I didn't have a look at data. There is no clearly best deck, right? This is. Is it kind of
There
normal?
was a clearly best deck, which was Parfait, but Lantex got banned from the format.
Yeah.
Now everything is enough.
So nowadays the better decks are Elves and Blue-White Stifle Knot.
Okay, really. Stifle Knot.
Blue-White Stifle Knot is amazing. I would have played this deck actually instead of Stasis, but I couldn't get hand of a few of the cards I needed. Because it's like really insane. Previously with Mono Blue Stifle Knot, if you know the deck, you only had 4 threats, the 4 Stifle Knots. Nowadays, the meddling mages are amazing because they stop the key plan from your opponent, if you know the meta game, and are even 2/2s.
Yeah.
And they go a long distance. And the thing is, like, the drive was for me with Stasis or Stefano is like, I want to play Gush.
Yeah.
And Gush is such a cool card. And I mean, what I really have to say about this game, I played the best game of Magic. The best game of Magic
me.
involved 2 players resolving,
Well, like many games.
not Commander,
Oh, shots fired!
playing each of those players playing only one spell for the whole match, for the whole game. It started off with Peter Plank on Stasis, following him up basic island into
Stasis.
not
Blackwise.
Stasis,
Use it
Blackwise against control, and my opponent took 3, put a land into play, passed back. I put the land into play, passed back. He took 3, he put a land into play, passed back. I missed my land drop because it was a mulligan to 5 or 6 even. Passed back. In the end step, he played an Impulse, which was actually the last spell that was played in this whole match, because, whole game, because he died to the Blackwise, because he had a hand full of remove spells and counter spells and couldn't deploy shit because I did not play a single spell.
This is actually one of the reasons why control decks have so many artifact tates, like the seal of
Disenchant
cleansing.
or something.
He could not find any disenchant or seal
But
of
this is
cleansing.
why you need this kind of effects.
Yeah,
I like
Okay,
it.
okay, Peter. I gotta tell you this. This is great.
but yeah, I went 5-1 in the format for 24th place.
Wow. Again, really, really strong showing here.
It's such a sweet.
You
And
held
I-
in response flag high.
Yeah.
That's true. And I really want to shout out my round 4 opponent, which is Dr. Kinladen, also maybe known as Matthias Kinhagen. You use his website a lot of times.
Okay.
He's actually the co-founder of Card Market.
Ah, wow.
Of MKM.
Of MKM from Magic
Let's
Card
put
Market.
that right.
Magic Kartenmarkt.
And yeah, he was a really nice guy. Had no idea who he was. He even introduced himself as a Matthias. Then after the match, thank you for playing. I have something for you. He gave me a €40 Card Market, cards to use for the online service. And I really said, thank you. And then I've asked him if he was who is the guy that made the tournament series and published a lot of stuff for this.
Oh, I know, yeah, but I can't remember the name.
But definitely had no tears. And I asked him if he's the other guy. But yeah, no, thank you, Matthias, for the gift. I already used it. I bought myself a framed black bordered Ödland, a Badlands.
Nice.
Because I ran really well for the tournament. And yeah, Pre-Modern is great. We have to do Pre-Modern too. But Legacy is great too. And yeah.
Perfect timing for playing the format, I would say. This is an open meta game, pick your deck, I would say. And practice is important, and learn your deck. And I think right now it's the time to have fun.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe we can see each other next time at the Eternal Week in Prague.
For example.
Hopefully with the whole cast.
Yeah, would be nice. I would join.
I was asked by a few guys where you two were, so
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
would be nice to go there as well.
I would have been there if it wouldn't have been my first day at my new part-time job at teaching. So
Okay. I always said like you are in your parent week, so
no, it was my first day at my new part-time job.
Well, I
so.
just got my wisdom teeth removed a couple of days beforehand, so I really could not
You
join.
weren't able to, no.
all the guys said you should have rescheduled your appointment. But
Probably, yeah. But
why didn't you schedule your appointment?
There was limited appointments. There's only a limited number of surgeries you can take for the whole year. Actually, it is only once per month, and I mean, I could maybe would be able to take like in December. I could have it shifted to December.
Yeah. And why?
Probably. I mean, I planned it in advance, to be honest. And then Eternal Weekend came out after the fact. So I was not sure if the spot was available or not, to be honest.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, we were like 30 Austrian or something like that at the event. So good showing from...
Great community from our side, as always. We really like to be part of this community thing.
A lot of Viennese guys, a few from Graz. Was really nice. I was also asked where Coin is, but apparently it's going to Bologna next weekend.
Yeah.
So tune into the stream from the Four Seasons guys. Tell them to speak English and not Italian.
But yeah, very nice, I would say. I think this kind of wraps it up, right?
For sure, we will hear each other on, I think, on a Christmas special episode. So the next one will be very, very jolly.
Jolly.
I think we should shout out our socials.
Yeah.
Well, I
And now
totally
we-
forgot about them.
And now we have Philip here, so he can tell the exact name that we have.
Yeah, we struggled a little bit last time, actually.
Oh,
But
really?
Let me try. Is it
Response_legacy.
@response_legacy?
Yeah, it's
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Even on
You
Tinder.
got it right this time.
Yeah, you got it right. So, if you like what we are doing, consider following us on our socials at response_legacy. You can find me on Twitter. It's @PhinekMTG, PHINEKMTG. Daniel, where can we find you on social media?
It's on X or Twitter. It
Oh, yeah, fuck, it's X.
is whatever. It is Twitter. It is @FlyingDelva, and yeah, everywhere around this also at In Response, of course. And Peter, in the end, where we can find your wisdoms of painters.
You can find me on www.axe. Yeah, it's an X.
You mean like X? You mean like the deodorant or something?
You can find me on Twitter.
It works for
It's
that now.
@UnicornLord without the MTG, but the O in the Lord is a 0.
We should get sponsored by X. In Response, X.
Actually, it's called Lynx in the English-speaking countries.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Actually, I got myself an X deodorant to the tournament hall because
You needed it.
I'm a generous individual. No, I didn't use it, but I had it with me.
All right. So, see you next time.
In response, the end.
This was In Response, a Legacy podcast. If you enjoyed the ride, feel free to support the show by following, leaving a review, or subscribe on patreon.com/response_legacy.